Hi, it's Tarrant.
And Stella from Maple University. Today we're very excited to review Bee in Bread, one of the Essen Spiel 2022 release games that I picked up from Essen.
Yes.
This is by the Scott Elms, and this is two-player games.
Yes, designed to play a game.
Indeed. So we are going to do an overview and then review.
Indeed. So this is a game that plays over 6 rounds. As I say, it's a designed to play a game. Both players are, they have a bakery and they have a brewery and they have a shared pool of
Resources.
grains, essentially, that they're trying to compete from. And we're going to be alternating between fruitful years and dry years. So in a fruitful year, there's a whole lot of resources here. We each have 5 cards, and we're going to draft them in the conventional way. I'll take a card, play it, you'll take a card and play it, and then we'll swap back and forward. Each card that you play has 3 possible uses, and putting it on the space you can see would help. And it's split into 3 parts. They all work much the same way. You've got harvest space at the top. So if you harvest with a card, here I would get a water and a barley. Then if I play, and you would keep making the stack, so your harvest stack gets bigger as a round goes on. So if I played this one, I would get these 3 resources and anything in the same columns. So this would give me 2 water, a hops, and 2 barley. Then if I played this one on a subsequent turn, for example, 3 water and 2 hops. So you can really build up the amount of resources you get, but you can only store 9. And if you go over, you can choose what you keep, but then you have to offer the rest to your opponent.
And these are multi-use cards, 3 uses per card.
Yes. Second use is you can you can bake bread or brew beer. Spend the resources showing on there, and it'll be worth the money shown here at the end of the game, and then you put it face down in your bakery or brewery. This chokes that up until you empty it. The third action you can do is to play an upgrade and empty these. So if I played this, for example, this is in the sun slot, so I would slot it under my sun area here. There we go. That would give me a bonus on that phase of the round, and then I would sweep these out to my scoring pile. So fruitful year, we go back and forward doing that. Dry year works a little bit differently. You pick up all the cards you harvested with in the previous round. That forms the start of your hand. Then you draw up to 5. And then 3 go face up here. 1, 2, 3. And now we're not swapping hands. We're playing from our hand or swapping one from our hand with one here and playing it immediately. So there's some shared cards that are open to take. There's less resources here in a dry year, but then otherwise all the rules behave the same. After 6 rounds, that's the flow, and then after 6 rounds, it's one last trick up the game's sleeve. You count up all the points on your breads. You count up all the points on your beers, and there are some end game ones here as well. You can put in the coins, which will give you extra points either in bread or beer, or you can choose which. Then whichever of those 2 gives you the least money is your score, and who's ever higher score is the winner.
And with the twists.
Yes.
Bravo. The list of Bee in Bread. So you're going to have to balance the Bee in Bread scoring.
Yes.
And you can't just okay, let's just keep making beer, not bread, and then you just score the bread. And the other way around as well.
Yep.
What do you think?
I think it's very well put together. I think this is it has everything I really like in a 2-player game. It doesn't, I know a lot of the really popular 2-player games, you've got your Caper and your Watergate and things like that. They're very push and pull. I haven't always loved that push and pull. I like it, but I like a 2-player game where you're interacting and Euro building stuff, and this really has that for me.
Same with Seastead.
Seastead springs to mind, yeah.
I knew it.
The things I really like, I've already mentioned a key one, which is if your storage overflows, you have to offer to your opponent.
There's another twist.
So that's, those are interesting decisions to make. I can see all the cards I'm giving you, so I can keep track of what you're doing and make sure I'm not giving you the most valuable cards that you might need.
Yeah. The drafting is not open though, so there's no reason that you can't play. You don't want to incorporate memory mechanic into the game, which with the closed drafting. After the first draft, there's no reason why you can't open your hands and then let your opponents see it. Like we've done it before. It's like, oh, Terrence being nice. Okay, let's just do an open draft.
Yep. It's a nice twist is the fact that you can pick your harvest cards back up, because it gives you that option to plan. I know I want to play this next round, but I don't have the resources yet, so I'm just going to harvest with it now and pick it back up. So it's this nice little extra option that has you thinking even further ahead.
Strategy tips from Tarrant.
And I also like that, there's like 60 cards and there's lots of different things and upgrades, but none of them are huge, exotic, confusing combo 4 things together. They're all pretty basic stuff.
And they're all similar, so
yeah.
If you get water, get another one. If you get this, get another one. So it's similar but different resources.
If your opponent gets water, you get water.
Yeah.
At the end once it's set up, you get one of the resources from it. So they're all, I find when you've got a 2-player game like this and you're playing off against each other, I like having kind of basic actions and basic upgrades, because it gives you... There's no single combo that you can go and chase that's going to win you the game.
No.
It's like you're looking for these little advantages here and there, and I think that works really well at 2 players.
I think the planning bit is the one that it really helps if it's an open drafting for me, because of the memory bit. Like, I can't remember what cards I gave. Like, as with any drafting, you want to hate draft, you want to just draft for yourself, but the almost frustrating thing if you don't plan is that at the end or near, like in the dry season, especially at the last of the dry season, if you have not planned your cards properly, you'll be stuck with the cards that you don't need, or you'll be having the cards with the contract that you cannot fulfill because you just short on the ingredients. And this seems like really easy, but as Terrence said, it's really quite thinky, and then you have to plan ahead on what cards you keep, what cards get recycled to the next round, what card you take, and so on.
And there's a timing piece as well, because these fill up, the brewery and the bakery, and you have to play an upgrade to clear them. It forces you to sometimes wait on the action that you want, because you just don't have space for it. So I think my sense was that it was on the forgiving side, because you'll start around with like 8 contracts available or visible to you. It's relatively...
Not these ones, just 5.
Well, in a dry round, you've got 8 cards you could play first. It means it's hard to completely block the opponent off from doing something.
I see.
You can do things that is optimal for them and forces them to be a little more suboptimal. But it's hard to completely block them out.
If they are the right cards. If it's not, then uh-oh.
And I think what that means is it has a slightly more forgiving feel than some games, like your Seven Wonders Duel and Seastead. I feel those are a little less forgiving, but there's still a lot of fun decisions to be made.
It is a lot of fun making the bread, and look at the artwork. Just quickly show you the bread. They are, I think, a certain type of bread that there's endgame points as well. If you get the old type of bread, and you get extra points and that sort of things. If
you get the right combo for it.
The right combo for it, yeah. And like this one as well, whenever you remove only bread cards while cleaning your brewery or bakery, collect 2, so the extra resources, this end game, and you have additional storage units. I quite like it as well. It makes your storage visible. And it is such a fun mechanic where if you it's quite punishing as well in a way when you cannot take your resources, then you have to offer to opponent like, oh no, and that's basically less for you, more for that.
That's what you really have to avoid, is being full and not having any contracts in hand that you can complete.
Yes.
Because then to do another harvest, you're giving heaps of resources to your opponent. If both players are full, then it's kind of open slather.
I know. And there's like a lot of replayability with this amount of cards. You don't use all of these cards when you play. Almost similar cards, but you can try to get more combo with the bread, but you have to balance it with the beer. It's really like the taco war is like within yourself, not between the players. Anyways, I love it.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Have you played it? Have you heard of it? I picked it up from Essen Spiel 2022, and this I do not regret picking it up. At the time, at day 0 at Essen Spiel, they have beer and bread party. Like literally, they have beer and bread. I did not try any of those. I wasn't hungry, I wasn't thirsty, and they don't drink beer overseas. But it was fun. There was like a few people gathering, and then they start selling the game at day 0. So the people who can get in early or the booth people can come in and get it, buy it, whatever. That's it. And that is it. Thank you so much everyone for watching. If this is the game for you, let us know in the comment. If there's a game that is quite like this one, let us know in the comments. Like the video, that will be really grateful. And subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit the bell. I'm also on Instagram. Find me there as well, and we'll see you next time, hopefully. Bye!